I'm here with Dr Kathryn Owler, an independent research consultant who's just finished a study into the well-being of participants in the Life Code Matrix process. Kathryn, thanks for joining us.
It's my pleasure.
Let's start with why you conducted research into the Life Code Matrix in the first place.
I have a real interest in doing research in the workplace, and I've often observed that work is one area where people seem to feel it's legitimate to actually not enjoy themselves that much and operate in a way that's not so aligned with who they are, and see work as a bit of a place of struggle. And when I talked to Scylla about doing this research, she explained that often she finds people who do this process enjoy their work quite a lot more afterwards and operate in a way that's a lot more aligned with who they are.
Have you seen this exhibit itself in other processes that might be used in organisations?
Yeah, it's a good question because there are a lot of processes out there and there are a lot of claims being made, and I'm aware of some of those processes. I'm aware of wellness programs. That's something that are being rolled out in a lot of companies, and HR tools, psychological testing tools, and that sort of thing. And I think the thing is that those processes are useful, but what they often lack is having an impact on the individual in creating intrinsic motivation. So that's a motivation that comes from within. And I think that where Life Code Matrix is different is that it does have the potential to create sustainable change, which is a way of, it means you don't have to keep doing something over and over again. For example, with wellness programs, evidence suggests they are very effective while they're in operation in terms of promoting change for people and eating better and exercising, and that does increase productivity and reduce absenteeism and those sorts of things. But the evidence doesn't suggest that once the program's over that those things are sustained. So what you really want is to be able to create change internally. And I think that's a difference with Life Code Matrix.
Do you think it's actually possible for people to make that kind of choice? I mean, it's sort of new territory for some people, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I think certainly the research did reflect that people come out of it with a clearer sense of who they are, and so they're more able to operate in a way that's aligned with who they are in the workplace. And as a result, there's a sense that there's an easiness, and I think that's what brings the greater enjoyment, being able to operate in a way that fits best with who they are.
I was really surprised when I read through the summary of the research project that people were using quite big words like freedom and clarity to describe how they were feeling about life. What were the major findings for you? So
generally in transition, people will use language as a struggle and frustration or confusion, which is what we all experience when we're going through those. And certainly when I met with people before they had done the Life Code Matrix process, most people were using those words and sense of struggle and uncertainty about the future and those sorts of things. But it really struck me that when I met with people again after the process, that wasn't the outlook that they had, that they were using positive words and hopeful words to talk about their lives.
Looking at that in the context of people's working lives, that must have a major impact on things like productivity then.
60% of people reported a sort of a new attitude, and people felt like kind of excited to be the person that they were, and so in their workplace as well, excited to explore that. So whether that meant communicating with colleagues or their manager, or whether it meant being perhaps a bit more creative in their work, or they just found themselves experiencing work more creatively and in a sense of discovery. They're being fully there. They're not sort of thinking, oh, I wish I was somewhere else, or I wish I was another person in another job or another life. They're thinking they're just pleased to be who they are, I guess.
This is a uniquely positive way of looking at people's lives. It's sort of like they've flipped the telescope around.
Yeah, because we're so used to seeing I guess, faults in ourselves, aren't we? Or identifying problems that we need to improve on or fix up. And that's how we tend to see ourselves in our culture. But this is kind of saying people are okay, I'm okay. I don't actually have to fix up anything about myself, I can actually just enjoy being me. So it's quite different.
So Life Code Matrix really turned a whole lot of pessimists into optimists then?
This isn't really positive psychology so much, because positive psychology is more only about shifting your thoughts or attitudes, whereas, and that often takes a mental effort, but this process didn't necessarily take mental effort. So it's not like you go, oh, this is who I am, I must be this person, or I must try harder to be this person. People seem to be able to, once they had identified who they were through the process, were simply effortlessly able to be that person. So there wasn't effort involved in it.
Kathryn, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us today. It's been really insightful, and I really appreciate you bringing a researcher's perspective on what seems to be a truly amazing program. So thanks.
Thank you.